Hi, my name is Rob Avis. I'm with Verge Permaculture, and this is Verge Permaculture's headquarters. Today we're working with Simple Solar here in Calgary, Alberta to put a solar array up on our roof. We're going to be putting a 30-tube evacuated tube collector. And this collector is probably going to provide close to 70% of our thermal energy with regards to our hot water, our domestic hot water needs. So that's going to dramatically reduce the gas requirement that we have in the house for heating our hot water.
Solar collector will be mounted on the two horizontal rails, and they've been fastened to the roof with 4 stanchions. And you can see on the left side the pipe sticking up, and we're going to bring the solar lines up through that.
We're using a type of technology called evacuated tube technology, so it's really efficient. The evacuated tubes essentially work by housing a copper tube on the inside of a vacuum tube, which conveys the solar energy into a common manifold at the top, which is going to send that energy down into our tank in the basement so that we can shower.
So this is the original gas water heater, just a standard natural gas fired with the pilot light and with the chimney, and these chimneys are what cause them to cool off all the time. So we're replacing this with a solar water heater and with a new gas water heater that we've gone and stuck in the corner here, and that one will have a closed combustion system with the electronic ignition, and without the chimney it's much more efficient. We're also going to be installing a drain water heat recovery unit that recovers the heat from the drain water as the water is flowing back into the water tanks to be heated up. And it will go way in the back here where the original drain stack is. See the black pipe?
This is kind of a neat little device. It's a product that's made in Saskatoon from a company called Water Cycles, and what we're going to do is put this kind of in line into the system. And the neat thing with water when it flows through a pipe is that it actually doesn't flow as a slug through the middle. It actually flows kind of in a spiral around the outside. And so understanding the physical property of how water flows, we can actually install a system or design a system like this where we have a large copper pipe wrapped with a smaller diameter flexible copper tubing on the outside. So what happens is as the water gets drawn down out of the hot water tank, in this case it's going to be a solar hot water system, all the cold water from the city goes through this line first before it refills the solar hot water tank. Now as the water flows through this pipe, it comes down here and it literally spirals around the outside of this pipe to an outlet up here. Now the purpose of that is that as the warm water is flowing out of the shower, so as you're taking a shower, water is coming through the shower head, down the drain, it's also replacing the water in the tank. The cold water from the city then gets run through this system, and so we can get about a 10-degree temperature increase. So if the city water is coming in at about 4 degrees Celsius, we can send about 15 degrees Celsius water to the hot water tank, which means the solar panel has to work a lot less hard. It also means we get a lot more efficiency in the system.
So we got 2 lines for solar lines to come through and 2 for the gas water heater, and that's under the deck by the back door.
Just hooked the wires up. You can come on over here, I'll show you. Got 2 wires hooked up from the solar photovoltaic array, so that's the one that produces the electricity on top of the panel. So this pump is running, and you've actually got a little flow meter here, and so it's kind of neat because not only is this indicating how many liters per minute or liters per second is flowing through the system, the higher this little flow meter is, the sunnier it is outside. So in a way it's actually kind of like a sun meter. So what's happening is there's enough sun to power the pump, which means there's also enough sun to heat the hot water, and as the water is heated it's pumped back downstairs into this tank, and this tank will get to about 90 degrees Celsius, which is kind of our primary storage tank. And as we draw water through the system, it gets sent to the secondary supply tank, and the only reason this one will ever need to turn on is if hasn't been sun for a couple of days. This water then goes through the house, and as we shower upstairs, all of the shower water ends up coming back down through this drain pipe, or drain heat recovery system, and so we're actually picking up some of the heat from the wastewater, and that heat is transferred to the new fluid that's going to replace the water that we're pulling from these tanks. So we'll report back once our tank is hot and we have enough water to shower.